Hello, welcome back, or welcome to Tangled Duo, where we do a lot of DIY projects and home renovation. Today we are going to be building a plant stand. I'm trying to use all of our scrap pieces of wood to be able to build this. The inspiration is right here. I'm gonna make it kind of similar to this with a little bit of a twist. The material that I'll be using for today, 1/2 inch plywood, 3/4 inch plywood, and a router, a brad nailer, wood glue, and some stain, and a sander. Obviously you don't need everything that I am using today, but that is the tools that I used for this project. I did use a table saw to make the cuts, but obviously you can do that with just a circular saw. So let's get into it and see how this plant stand turns out. I'm making a circular plant stand. So we're gonna be using the router for this project, and I did make a jig for the router so I can make a circle. All right, here's my very rough jig that I made. I will link the video that I followed down below for this specific one. Obviously theirs is gonna look a lot better. This is my first time ever doing it. We're gonna see if it works. But the video is very detailed and helpful. So I will link that and you can use that because it's gonna be better than what I would explain. But we're gonna use that and see how it works to make a circle. For the diameter, I went ahead and did 12 inches for the outside diameter and then 10 inches for the inside diameter because my pot is about 9.5. So it gave me a little bit of room to play once I put the pot in the planter holder. Okay, don't mind the hair because, you know, obviously I had to put it up for the hard work. But I would say that worked out pretty well. Just kind of inch it away, little bit by little bit is what I'm doing at least. I think we did it. Let's take a look. What I need to do after looking at it, there's 3 parts on the inside. So you have the top, which is going to be a circle with the middle cut out. Then you have the bottom, which is going to be a circle platform that the pot actually sits on. And then you have the very bottom, so like that's the center. You have the very bottom, which is going to be another circle with a circle outside of it. I mean, you could make it a full circle, but we'll see. Recruited some help for a few cuts to make this process go a little bit faster. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this, what is this, 1/2 inch?
Somewhere around there.
1/2 inch plywood, and we're going to rip it to be 3/4 inch wide, 22.5. So this is how tall we're gonna make it. Again, using scrap pieces that we had laying around. Since the scrap piece of wood that we were using was 22.5 inches, that's how tall we made the actual planter. So here we're just cutting all of the extra slats the same length. Our pieces are cut 3/4 inch width, and then it's a 1/2 inch plywood. So cut them all. So what I'm gonna do now is sand all of these, sand the circles that I made, and then they'll be ready for staining. We have all the, I don't know what you would call them, but all of these little slatted things that we're gonna use sanded. I'm not gonna lie to you, my hand is tired and cramping from all that sanding, but I'm glad we're done. Now I'm just gonna sand the circles and then condition the wood so we're ready to go. This is where I started to work smarter, not harder. My hand was so tired, so I just clamped the sander to the table and then moved my pieces around. It was so much easier. So I'm trying to use stains that we already have. You've probably seen these before if you've watched any of our other videos. But we have driftwood, and then this one is English chestnut. So I'm thinking I'm going to like the driftwood more because I'm trying to kind of match the inspiration picture. Five hours later, it's sanded, stained. Just kidding. But it is stained. We got them done. I did go for the English chestnut, even though it's a little bit darker. I know I said I wanted to do the light one, but I didn't like the driftwood. So we're doing English chestnut, and this is kind of how it turned out. A little bit more rustic than I was planning on doing, but you know, I can always paint it a different color later on. So we're gonna go with this for now. Very last thing was just adding a polyurethane. What I'm gonna do now is take the brad nailer and some wood glue and attach our first legs, and I'm going to hope that I line it up well enough that it doesn't go through the side. So wish me luck. Good news, it didn't go through. We'll see if this works. All right, next is measuring how deep my pot is so that I know where to put the bottom of the pot supporter thing goes. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do exactly 7 1/4. Yeah, I think that's what we wanna do. Find 7 1/4. From here, that's where the top of this needs to line up. Oh, let me draw my lines again. Okay, we need some wood glue. Measure one more time. See if we can do this here a second time. You know what? I will take that. The very last one, circle. And this one goes right at the very tippy top. Okay. That one didn't go all the way through, so we're gonna have to fix that. But we have one row done. Woohoo! Okay, so I created this thing so I can hold this up. I rotated it so we can get the second one on. And what I'm gonna do is just make sure that this distance is 7 1/4 to make sure that this piece is straight and level. So that's what we're gonna do. Right now, but I'm pretty excited that we have it to this point and the pot fits and it works. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, get some food, and then adding in the other slats. It's gonna be a fun time. Since my project was round, I went ahead and used a ribbon to measure the distance between each post so that I could do the math and figure out how much space I wanted between each little slat on my planter. So what I did is just made marks on each end and then laid it flat and measured it with the tape measure, and I think it was about 9 inches. I don't remember the exact length there, but grabbed that. Then I grabbed a few small pieces of wood, cut them to 1 inch and 3/8 because that's how big I wanted my spacing to be. So I was using that. I cut 2 pieces so I can have one at the top and bottom when I was adding those slats in, just to keep them nice and straight, and it just made life a lot easier. While I was building it, it was very, very cold outside, so here I am just trying to warm up that wood glue so it's easy to use. So you can see here are my little spacers to make sure everything is nice and straight. All right, I didn't get a lot of footage of this, but pretty much what I did was took every piece of wood and attached it to each circle. So there was 3 on each slat, and I used a brad nail. I think I used 1 1/4 inch length brad nail and just attached everything to that. Once I added half of the slats, so it was like a half circle, I went ahead and tried different ways to attach these lights to make it a little bit easier instead of waiting till the very end. So I tried the adhesive that it comes with, and then I tried some hot glue, and it just was not working. I'm going to show you the kind of condition I'm doing this project in. It's currently hailing. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. These are the hail chunks that are coming down right now. I'm trying so many different things to attach this light to this freaking stand. Nothing's working. Hot glue didn't work. The actual just like adhesive that comes on it didn't work. So now I'm trying wood glue to see if that works. If not, I don't know if we're going to add lights to this. 2 hailstorms later, and an hour later, the wood glue didn't work. So I've tried everything. I go to the hardware store and buy a stapler, and hopefully this works. If not, we're gonna have to get rid of the lights in this project. It is freezing out here, but it's not the prettiest thing you'll ever see. But this is pretty much what I'm doing, is I'm stapling in the lights, and this is the bottom. So it's gonna kind of shine from the bottom down. And I'm just kind of making this little weaved pattern, trying to hide the corners where I'm turning it behind one of these just to help a little bit. I don't know how well that's going to do, but you know, trying our best here. I am sure there's better ways to do this. I originally wanted to put these behind all of these and go up and down, but I didn't like what it would look like in between. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like making a wood piece to cover it. So if you want to do that and spend the time to do it, that is a good idea too, where you can go up and down, and then on the bottom piece, you would just put another circle on top of it so you don't see the lights going to the next section. if that made any sense. But this is what we're doing. We're doing some staples. Moment of truth. Let's see if it lights up. See if I messed anything up here. Woo! That delay freaked me out, but that looks good. All right, let's see. Let's give us a little test of what it will look like. Oh, as I break it. There it is. Like I said, not perfect because you can kind of see the lights, but I think it will do. All right, I've attached all of them. Woo! Okay, the only thing left to do is, as you can see, the very tops I didn't stain. So I have to go ahead and stain the top, and then we're ready to put the plant in and see how it looks. I'm so excited. 3 days worth, not full days, but 3 days worth, and also like 40-degree weather. My fingers are numb at this point, so I'm excited to be done. And then obviously the annoying part, which is cleaning up the mess that I made afterwards. So let's go do that. All right, let's see this finished product. I am going to be putting it here in my entryway. First, I had to plug in the lights, which the outlet is behind our little shoe holder. Wilson was just as excited as I was for this planter, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. This was a super fun project for me. Obviously, we used a lot of scrap pieces and things that we already had, so it was pretty affordable for me. But I do think if you were buying all of the materials, it still would be pretty affordable, maybe $30 to $50, I don't know. But it was a great project and just super fun to do.